Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be talking about digital savvy and more specifically about its illusory nature. Mastery of the tools is only the beginning.
So we've rolled out Teams. Everyone has a laptop, and our most recent company seminar took place online. We've done it. The digital transformation is underway.
Are you sure that's enough? I know you're a digital native, but I didn't think you were digital naive. It's true that the COVID crisis forced us to quickly ramp up our use of digital tools, but that doesn't mean that our work is done and that everyone is digital savvy. A little nuance, please. So, the illusion of digital savvy, what's the story?
The public health crisis accelerated the rollout of digital infrastructure. Networks, bandwidth, storage, etc., and the rollout of equipment and software.
And massive forced exposure to digital tools developed technical skills among many employees. But the acceleration of digital practices isn't enough to constitute true digital savvy. If we stop now, the benefits of the digital transformation will fall terribly short of our expectations.
It's true that companies today are all after a digital transformation that will change ways of working and managing for the better.
But it's also true that if technical mastery of digital tools isn't paired with a corporate culture of digital savvy, then it can actually reinforce bad habits we hope digital would free us from.
Here's an example. Collaborative applications should help us to work more transversely, but sometimes the way access rights and roles are managed can reproduce the logic of separating and protecting information which is already in place.
One more, to really hit home. With tools like Teams, it's easier to communicate. Information is readily available, but sometimes there are so many different means of communication and so muddled that we don't know where to find the information we need anymore.
On the intranet. No, sorry. On the Teams. Or maybe it's on the project's SharePoint. I don't remember. Send me an email, it will be quicker. As you can see, if they're not used correctly, tools can actually make things worse.
To ensure digital technologies actually contribute to better collaboration, you have to develop proper use of the tools, an agile approach at the individual level, and culture that fosters cooperation.
And you have to remember that collaboration and cooperation are not the same thing. Tools facilitate collaboration, but it's the way we use them that determines whether or not collaboration blossoms into cooperation.
So there's the risk we've already mentioned, of believing that we have a real digital savvy culture just because we've mastered a tool. But there's also the risk of deepening social divides.
Pre-Socratic philosopher Anaxagoras said that man is intelligent because he has hands. So yes, it's true that the mastery of tools opens up a world of possibilities. It encourages us to think about what we're doing and why.
But it's a big jump from there to a digital culture, which covers an incredibly wide array of topics.
Let's using culinary culture as an example. Can you claim to have a true culinary culture simply by learning to use a whisk and a frying pan? It's the same thing here.
A true culture of digital savvy includes the instincts and agility required to use the tools and understand their scope and impact. It's 1,000 things really. 1,000 things that people tend to assume digital natives have acquired, when in reality their mastery is much more limited.
Digital savvy cannot be acquired with the wave of a magic wand. So, human resources departments have an important role to play in helping all employees acquire a digital culture so that the company can truly benefit from the new digital reality.
To recap, true digital savvy is the product of a corporate culture that goes far beyond the mastery of digital tools, and human resources departments have an important role to play in fostering it. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short. Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.